Hey everyone, I'm JimClassic and you are watching Geekin. And for today's video, I would like to talk about a Transformer that I have been wanting to cover for the past year and a half and finally got thanks to Target.com. From Transformers Legacy United, the upbeat and positive, or dark and brooding, depending on who's writing him, Autobot bounty hunter, Devcon. That's right, I got this guy off of Target.com. I had this guy pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Story. I had this guy pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store for about a year and a half, and it never happened. And then Target.com, the Target app, said, "Oh yeah, we're selling them on sale for $17." So I got him. Sorry, Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know what happened with you guys, but Target picked up what you dropped. Anyway, let's talk about the box. All right, starting with the box. This is a Legacy Evolution. Oh, Evolution. I said United. I meant to say Evolution. Anyway. Oh, I made a mistake in the introduction. I said Evolution instead of United, but it is either way. We have the old style box right here, and you know, I can tap on Devcon all I want. He's secure in there. This came direct from Target, so no risk of anyone taking the heads off. Anyway, vehicle mode right there, Transformers, Autobot Devcon. You see the QR code on the top. Yes, it does still work, much to my surprise. We have box art here, close up, action pose. Moving on to the back, we see product shot, robot mode, vehicle mode, the Evo Fusion, whatever that was. And we've seen this a million times. This is part of the old diorama, part of the mural. This is the side mural art. We all saw that on a lot of them. Anyway, that's it for Devcon in the box. Let's just open this guy up and see what he is all about. All right, now here we have Legacy Devcon out of the package. And I gotta say, you know, the usual colors of blue, red, and silver are always complementary to each other. And for Devcon, this is no exception. He looks good. Now, the funny thing is about this guy, which I find it so crazy, is that Devcon only appeared in one episode of the G1 Transformers cartoon, and that was, pretty sure it was the season 2 episode of The Gambler, and he teamed up with the Autobot Smokescreen, and then we never saw him again until like 20 years later. He made a couple of appearances in BotCon comics. I think BotCon 2001 and 2002 he showed up. And that was pretty much it for Devcon until 2015, Knights versus Pirates. So 3 issues of BotCon comics. But anyway, to see Hasbro put so much effort into such an obscure character that only a handful of fans even know about, you know, I'm very happy about this, because I always liked Devcon. Maybe less is more. Kind of like old school Boba Fett. We didn't know anything about him. Less is more. We all love Boba Fett. And, you know, now it's like they've told too much about him, kind of. I don't know. I still like Boba Fett, so maybe that doesn't really apply. I mean, do you think Hasbro is ever going to make a figure of this guy? I don't think so. Devcon here is a heavy retool of Studio Series 86 Blur. You can definitely see it in the feet. But, you know, enough of this. We have a really nice deluxe class figure right here. We've got a pretty good head sculpt. Kind of a precursor to the sweeps in the Transformers the movie. And who knows? Maybe part of Devcon's design elements went towards the sweeps. You can kind of see it, even though this is a deluxe and the sweeps are, you know, Voyager class. But, you know, maybe some of the inspiration came from Devcon's original design. But anyway, you know, nice sky blue colors, nice clean Autobot badge, some good silver, nice paint there on the abdomens, the red. Maybe this is like reactor chamber or something. I don't know. Nice, you know, red here and there. Got red on the boots. You know, red here. This is definitely painted. I don't know what the original color is. Maybe blue. Okay, blue. The original color is blue, so it's painted. And yeah, got some good robot greeblies right here in the legs. Of course, we covered the chest, some stuff around the arms. And, you know, the backpack, well, the backpack could definitely be worse. So as backpacks go, I'm not that offended by this design. And of course, you know, Devcon does have a good range of motion right here. Is a ball jointed head, so it can wiggle around. Can look down a little bit. Can't really look up all that much. All the way around. Of course, universal joints here in the shoulders. Can go out, can flex out. We have bicep swivel. Actually, it's an elbow swivel. It's an elbow swivel right there. But good 90-degree bend. Nothing on the wrists. We do have a waist rotation right there. His butt is kind of hollow, but whatever. Universal joints there at the hips, so he can kick out that far. He can go back that far. Decent bend at the knee, and since this is Studio Series Blur's design, we got a decent ankle pivot right there. And overall, not bad articulation. Devcon comes with 3 accessories. One is his laser pistol right here in his hand. It is blue plastic and painted silver. Very clean. Very nice. Kind of looks a little retro in my opinion. And taking the boosters off of the back of Devcon's legs, we see here we have blue plastic and it is painted red as covered earlier. They can be pegged. Well, I mean, they're 5mm pegs. They can be pegged anywhere where there's a 5mm port. So you can do that for like a triple barrel gun. And Devcon can just nuke those Decepticons with a triple barrel gun. Not too bad, and very happy to see blast compatible weapons. Though, in recent videos it does look like Hasbro has phased that out of anything that isn't a repaint. So, that has been a look at the robot mode with his accessories. And I have to say they're all pretty darn good, really. I got no complaints with Devcon. Of course, considering Devcon is covered in 5mm ports, you could put those boosters anywhere, including on his backpack, but I think it makes the backpack look a little too big, in my opinion. I actually kind of like them on the back of the heels, but, hey, these boosters, you can just put them just about anywhere. He's got a ton of 5mm ports, so that makes for a lot of versatility for this character. Since Devcon is pretty much covered with 5mm ports, I mean, it's really easy to just weaponize the hell out of this guy, and, as an Autobot bounty hunter, you could probably justify that because he could use, partners or tools or equipment and just, really make himself a badass, maybe help take care of some larger, bigger, tougher Decepticons, who knows. Here's a quick comparison of Devcon with the Autobot Quintet, who was featured in the episode The Gambler. As you can see, he stands a little bit taller than Smokescreen, but definitely taller than Bumblebee. And, between Perceptor, Inferno, and Prime, well, he's pretty much dwarfed by them. But this is a pretty good-sized, fair-sized, deluxe class figure right there. And being the only Autobot here who does not have an Earth mode, he is kind of the odd man out, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. He still looks really darn good for a one-off character who was probably never supposed to show up ever again. And the last comparison before transforming Devcon into his vehicle mode is Devcon. Now, this is the BotCon Timelines version. It takes place hundreds and hundreds of years in the future, and this is his evolution. This is what he ultimately looks like in like several hundred years from now, which I think this is a great upgrade. I still love this mold. This is the old Generations Scourge mold. And I'm very happy to have this figure. And I'm delighted to have this guy right here. So we have 2 different versions of the same character, and I think obviously darker color blue here than this, but maybe Devcon, 500 years from now decided to change things up a little bit. I don't know, but we got 2 really good figures here. Nice comparisons. And again, going back to the sweep design, this is based off of Generations Scourge mold. So he's the precursor to the sweeps, and he was built based off of the sweeps, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, got some good comparisons here, got some good figures here, and enough of this. Let's just get this guy into vehicle mode. getting Devcon into vehicle mode is not a very difficult affair. This is actually a pretty easy transformation, but let's get all the parts off. We'll just put them all here to the side. So we're going to start with the hands. The hands open up right here, and they kind of flip out that way. And I suppose this kind of gives Devcon a bit of a Mega Buster look, now that I think about it. You know, I suppose you can give him like a hand weapon. So little Mega Man reference right there. Kind of dig that. Gonna pop this one open again and flip it that way and close that one up as well. Now, what I'm gonna do is we continue on with the legs. So the legs open up like so. We're gonna point the feet up like so. Same thing for this one. And we are gonna peg them together right now. And they're gonna fold up. They're gonna accordion up. And they're gonna wrap around back here. And just kind of close that up like so. Now, these little tabs right here on the inside of the arms, they're gonna peg into these spots right there. Make sure the head is straight, and just basically unaccordion the backpack here, fold it up over the head like so, and then put this over top of the chest. Then we just put those boosters on like so. Put the gun at the bottom of the nose cone, and here we have Devcon in his space cruiser mode, I guess. So yeah, space cruiser mode. I mean, this is you know, it's not the most original design. It just looks kind of like just a straight up, you know, rocket or you know, sky sled or something. But no wheels, nothing like that. It's just a you know, he kind of just lays his arms down, accordions his legs up, puts his hoodie over his head, and he's a spaceship. But I'm not complaining because, again, Devcon was a one-shot only character. He never showed up again, so the animators probably decided not to put that much work into him. But what you got here is I guess a serviceable 1980s space alien vehicle, you know, and that's okay. Even though we do see more of the reactor designs here, this might supposed to be a reflection of that. Maybe Hasbro could have done a better job covering that up if that is supposed to be that. I don't know, but or whatever, you know, it doesn't have to be a reactor. I don't know what it is, but he's got two of them in the vehicle mode, but still got a lot of greeblies here. Nice, you know, spaceship details, especially back here. That looks kind of nice. Yeah, very Star Wars-y kind of greeblies. No visible cockpit, but then again, Devcon is Cybertronian. He doesn't really need an organic partner, even though, you know, maybe accompanying him with a Slizardo minifigure would have been a nice touch. I think I would have liked that for an extra accessory, giving him a Slizardo little figure companion. I think that would have been great. But anyway, so what we got here is this, like I said, the spaceship. We got more of the boosters. In fact, we're gonna put the boosters right there. More 5mm port, you know, compatible stuff right there. And then, you know, you got Devcon zooming off into space, you know, with his hyperdrive engines going. More 5mm ports everywhere, so he's taking damage, things are exploding, or he's just like firing his gun again at Decepticon marauders or whatever. And you know, this is it. This is it. That's all there is to this guy. This is just a simple spacecraft. There is nothing to really deep dive that far into. You know, he is what he is, and I think he's pretty darn good. And of course, the vehicle mode does have a 3mm port for display stands and everything. So, you know, you can really have this guy just like taking off into the stratosphere after his Decepticon bounty. Once again, in vehicle mode, since he does have all those 5mm ports, even his rocket mode can be weaponized out, and you get like this 1980s sky sled ship or whatever it is, and you turn him into like just a fucking battle cruiser. Really cool stuff. And a quick comparison of Devcon's vehicle mode with some of the other Autobots, we see, you know, As far as a spaceship goes, he is about the size of your standard Autobot car, maybe a little bit longer. But, you know, not every Autobot is a car, even though he's, you know, he's a hover car, maybe? He's a spaceship. He really is a spaceship, but being the only Cybertronian space vehicle out of a bunch of cars and trucks, I mean, you know, he is definitely the odd man out, as mentioned earlier. You know, that is how he looked, and he does look pretty good for what he is. I'm fine with him. You know, I'm very happy to have Devcon. I just wish it didn't take Hasbro so damn long to get this guy out on the shelves. Like I said, I had this guy in pre-order hell for like a year and a half, and it just took forever, and I do not know why. Anyway, that has been my look at the Transformers Legacy United, Legacy Evolution Devcon figure. A figure a long time coming. When all is said and done, I enjoy seeing obscure characters such as Devcon get a physical toy release. It's a real treat. It's not like this toy blew my mind or anything. If anything, he's quite basic in both engineering and design. But it's also fun. And with no glaring issues, you know, I give Devcon a positive review. Well, thanks for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section, especially if you're familiar with the character Devcon, and tell me what you think of him. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin', and I will see you on the next video. Ciao.